Start streaming.
Streaming.
All right, we're sending another one. Another stream. Hopefully it starts up and just kicks off. I guess. Okay, it says we're live. It says we're live. Let me change the last one to part 1.
Okay, we are the bake.
Part 1 of 2, and then I'll do save on the last one, and then I'll do this part 2 of 2. Part 2 of 2. Save.
Hello.
Sorry about that, guys. YouTube, if the internet doesn't come back fast enough, they just end the stream and don't let you send back to it. So, like, as soon as internet came back on, I started sending the stream back to the same place, and it's like, nope. It just said, even though no. chat was active, like it should have just picked up where it left off. I hate that it does that. So annoying. All right, let me go grab the new chat from the new dashboard. Sorry about that interruption. That was rude. Pop out chat. Okay, there we go. I think we're back in full form. Although, if anybody did any super chats before this, I missed them sadly.
I don't think so.
No,
not while we were gone.
Not
while we were down.
Okay. Yeah. Whew. All right. So we are now alive. God, that was jarring. That was so jarring.
Yeah. Dude, just out of nowhere. It's crazy.
Out of nowhere. So here's what happened. My access point straight up stopped talking to my computer upstairs. Because I'm looking at my access point right now and it shows no outage. So I'm looking at the actually wait, no, it might show an outage. What is this? October 18th?
That's today.
12:20?
That's right now.
12:15 to 12:20. Yeah, no, there was an outage. Yeah.
Yep.
So never mind. So I thought it was I couldn't reach the switch downstairs. No, it was just disconnected from the internet. Weird. So yeah, that was weird. So this is the 5th outage now I've had with Ziply since the 8th of this month. They told me on Monday that they would tell me what the outages are for, but this is the first outage that's happened at this hour. All the other ones have always happened at like 1 or 2 a.m. So this is the first outage that's happened during like prime usage hour. So I think that this was probably a legitimate outage. The weird thing is I went downstairs, I looked at the ONT, which is like the modem for fiber, and the ONT was online, showed data. However, the switch itself said no internet. So there was no internet through it. I tried to go to speed test, couldn't hit speed test. I tried to go to a bunch of other sites, couldn't hit those sites, couldn't ping anything, couldn't resolve anything. And all I did was just come back upstairs because I saw the ONT was green and it was showing that it had a link and it was connected to their back end. It wasn't like disconnected because a wire broken somewhere.
Right.
And magically everything just started working again.
Just
out of the As a matter of fact, I was sitting here. You guys would have seen it if YouTube didn't close the stream. It just started again. OBS was like, oh, reconnected and streaming. But OBS was streaming out into the ether because YouTube already closed out the last stream. So that's really weird. So is there any way to combat that when it happens? Or do you just always have to split up your streams into multiple parts if you lose your internet for a minute or two?
Probably just have to split it up.
Oh, here, I'm going to ask Copilot. Is there any way to resume a live stream if internet dies and you're streaming on YouTube? Because I keep having a problem where internet goes down for a minute or two, and then when it starts streaming again, the stream is already closed out. And even though it shows that it's transmitting to YouTube, it's not. All right. Oh, it's asking me to verify that I'm human. This is something I see every day now. Have you noticed that there's less captchas and more verifications like the box? It's like, are you human? It's because AI can defeat all the captchas now. There's no reason to use them. Okay, YouTube has a timeout window. It's usually around 60 to 90 seconds after you disconnect. That's way too little. If your internet's down longer than that, YouTube automatically ends the stream. Even if OBS encoder reconnects and resumes sending data, YouTube will not revive the original stream. It requires a new session.
Yeah.
Use persistent stream keys. Enable persistent stream keys in YouTube live settings. This lets you reconnect and start a new stream without reconfiguring your encoder. Wait, how does that work? You'll still lose the original stream, but you can quickly go live again with the same key. Okay. Set OBS to auto reconnect. I already have that set up. That is ghetto. Really, a minute to 90 seconds, and they just count you as dead. Yep. That's not even enough time to reboot your modem.
Yeah, that is a little weird.
That's stupid. Well, I hope everybody was able to find the new stream. I also realized that I didn't send a link out to anybody, so at least now we can send them the link to part 2, right? So here, let me go to part 2. I'm going to grab it and send it out to the send it out to the different areas. My God, dude. And then, of course, going down the stairs, because I was in a hurry. I was trying to get things working. I go down the stairs and I slip and jack my fucking back up even harder. Par for the course, my friend. Tech Talk is live again with part 2. Actually, I'll just say live again, and then I'll just leave it at that. Come and hang out. All right, there we go. Tech Talk is live again. Go to B Sky, paste that shizzle. That was weird. That was a weird outage, man.
Yeah, just a little blip.
Yeah, I'm starting to get worried about Ziply. Like, they've had outages since the 8th, every other night for at least an hour or two, and they always start at 1 or 2 a.m. And I'm a night owl, so I'm always up at that time. So it's like the last time it hit, I was watching Chappie, and I was the part where, like, fucking Wolverine was driving Ed 209, and, it fucking cut off, and I didn't get to see what happened. Okay, let me post it here. Go to Facebook. Wait, what is all this extra shit? I don't want to create an event. I just want to. How do I just share a thing? No, I don't want an event. Oh, is it posting now? What are we doing here? Dude, this is man. I hate Facebook so much. You click post. It's like, would you like to create an event? No, I just want to publish it. No, I don't want to create an event. I just want to put text in a box. Can we do that, please?
Oh, weird. Yeah, the
What'd you see?
The chat box at the bottom is from the old stream.
Is it really?
Yeah.
The one that people are still talking in?
And it's not updating. No, the one like the overlay in the overlay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. How?
It's just not updating is all. It's got a handful of messages from.
Oh, let me try refreshing the overlay and see if that gets it to kick. Hold on here. Let me try this. See if this works. Refresh. There it goes. See. Loading. Did that fix it, or is it still the same old messages?
Yeah, that looks it's not the most up to date. It's a ways back.
Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
up.
Yep, that's it. Oh, thank goodness. I was like, fuck, man, that is not a smooth process. Hey, Jordan Miller, thank you for the $5, dude. Boop, 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 boop. He said, stop it in to say hi from the toilet. Gotta watch later. Hey, man, no problem. That's what VODs are for. Now you can watch two. We had to break it up into two. You know what I just realized? I'm sitting here, I'm dog-ass tired. I'm trying to get some caffeine in me, so that's why I have these emergency Mountain Dew Code Reds for when I know I'm trying to make coffee. And I grabbed a Dr. Pepper. I'm sitting here drinking. I didn't even notice it wasn't Code Red. I'm
Dr. Pepper Cherry. It looks just like it, though. That's funny.
I normally don't drink soda, but I got to stay awake. I ran out of Adderall a week ago.
Rough.
So I have no Adderall. So I gotta do the old school ADHD med.
Rough.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's like my head is always in a fog. It's like this fog of war.
Yeah.
Also been having a big problem with blurred vision too.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. I've been a little bit worried about that one. It comes and goes. I think it might be high blood pressure, but I haven't taken my blood pressure when my vision's been blurred because my wife's like, "Oh, you're really worked up, you're anxious, and you have a lot of anxiety. It's not a good time to take your blood pressure."
Well,
I'm like,
check.
But I'm like, by that measure, it's never a good time to take my blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
Baby Yoda is cool. Oh, you like my Baby Yoda? Yeah, that Baby Yoda is awesome. That's so awesome. Dr. Pepper is the best. I agree. Dr. Pepper is pretty legit. I do like. I have to say though, Mountain Dew Code Red is pretty delicious. Like, it is. I mean, if you like really sugary, fruity drink.
Yeah.
Can I drink G Fuel? No. You want to know why? Because I fucking hate G Fuel.
Dude, you'd probably explode.
I fucking hate it. I'm gonna tell you why. It's not even because it doesn't taste good. It's because they work with fucking little internet terrorists. And I don't like companies that will sponsor anybody, even people that get other people killed just because, it makes them money. That pisses me off. So yeah, no, I have a beef with them. They tried to sponsor me so many times back in the day, and I told them to fuck off. I even gave them all the information too. I showed them exactly who they were sponsoring, what the person that they were sponsoring was doing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're well aware of it. It's just hey,
they don't care.
All part of the game. It's like, no, well, it's not part of my game. Fuck off. I ain't gonna take your sponsorship." Now, just so you know, that's not me throwing shade at anybody that does take a sponsorship, because again, there's other people that do business. I just choose not to do business with companies that openly support people that they know have caused the death of others, like purposefully for profit, and that's fucked up. But yeah, that's why I don't like G Fuel. There was another, was it as a Gamer Sups or something like that? That I haven't tried, but it's basically just probably made in the same factory as G Fuel. So I don't know if I'd like them or not. Did not know that. That's why I'm here. Information. Can't find Zero Sugar Code Red near me. Do they make a Zero Sugar Code Red? Because if they do, I'll get that. Because I don't like all that sugar. The blurry vision could be computer vision syndrome. That's possible. And I do look at a cell phone a lot, and I think that's also causing a lot of eye strain. But it's weird. It completely comes and goes. I'll be sitting there just watching TV from 15 feet away, and my vision goes completely blurry, and then for like 6 hours, I can't focus on anything. It's just double vision. And then it'll just go away. Like right now, I'm okay. Right now, I have zero double vision. I can see everything just fine. But last night before I went to bed, everything was double vision. And I even tried to focus really hard and try to squint or relax my eyes, look down like this. And it helps a little bit, but it never clears up. And I was super weirded out because this has been happening for a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months at this point, where it just randomly comes and goes based on my stress and anxiety levels. So I have to go get my driver's license. For me, that's an anxious thing. Going to a public place, at fucking 7:30 in the morning and having to fight crowds of people and stand up on my back all fucked up. And so it got my anxiety up, and I was like, fuck, is this going to give me double vision? Because if it gives me double vision, I'm not going to be able to pass the eye exam. Because you have to take an eye exam when you go to renew your license in person. They make you put your face against like this thing that's on the desk, and then you read a virtual eye chart that's like, that looks like it's a long ways away from you. And luckily I aced it. So my vision wasn't blurry at the time I took the test, but I was so worried that my vision I was gonna get that double vision as I was like waiting in line to like go do my thing. And then I do the test and I'm like 7BF_$. She's like, nope, license cut in half. Sorry, you can't drive, sir. No. So yeah, that was a real concern for me, honestly. So I'm glad that didn't happen. And then of course, knowing that I was gonna have to take an eye exam after watching the person in front of me have to do it, I was like, oh fuck. I was like, that got my anxiety even higher. James said, look up CVS computer syndrome. It sounds like I've experienced it before. What it's called, CVS computer syndrome? Uh-huh. Okay, let's check this out. I'm down. See, Copilot. I'll use Copilot. Let's see here. What is CVS computer syndrome? Known as digital eye strain is a group of eye-related problems caused by prolonged use of digital screens. Let's see, reduced blinking. People blink less when they stare at screens, leading to eye strain or dry eyes. Poor screen contrast makes it harder for eyes to focus. I actually have really good contrast on my screen in the room. Eye strain to adjust between screen pixels and other objects. Improper posture and lighting can worsen symptoms. I do have bad lighting in my room, to be sure. Common symptoms: eye discomfort, dryness, itching, burning, or watering. I didn't have any of those. Blurry vision, especially with shifting focus between distances. That I definitely had that. Oh, often centered behind the eyes, a headache. I do actually get, I've been calling them migraines, but yeah, I do get a headache that feels like it's back behind my eyes. Light sensitivity, absolutely. Neck, shoulder, and back pain due to poor ergonomics, 100%. So how do you manage it? It says follow the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. It's funny, like as I'm reading this, I'm actually getting double vision now. That's funny. If that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. I'm sitting here reading it, and it's like the text is like like slightly out of alignment. Oh yeah, use artificial tears. I do. I have Visine that I put in, but last time I got double vision, I put Visine in a ton of it, and it made no difference. Adjust your screen, improve lighting. The other night I turned on all my lights in here on max, just blasting me in the face, hoping that would both wake me up and cure the double vision. It didn't improve it at all, and I was up here for a couple of hours. So at least every 15 minutes or every 2 hours, stay away from a screen. Yeah, it could be. This definitely could be a part of it for sure. Hey, what's up, Tech Brew Boss? How's it going, brother? Woo! Tech Brew Boss, woo! Woo! High cap AI guy is what we're gonna call him. High cap AI guy. He gave me access to the back end of his company's AI, so I have access to 50 different AIs or permutations of AIs in the cloud that I can play with API and everything. I was farting around with it yesterday. I created a script so I can just sit here and I can type in anything. I can just in the prompt just type in a prompt, give it the model I want to use, and then tell like what I want it to save the file as. So I'm just sitting here cranking out images right now. Like right there, I just typed some stuff in a command line console, and now I'm creating an image called Trump5.png. I'll let you guys figure out what the prompt is. By the way, I've been getting really good at fooling AIs into making images they're not supposed to make, by the way.
Good.
And video too. Like I was surprised. I got a couple different video AIs to generate shit that is like so bad that I could never post it. Like you could not post this. It's like literally like people getting murdered and stuff. And it's like gory shit. You're like, wow, what did this thing train on to learn how to make this look realistic? That's my question. Oh, it's 30 plus models right now? Yeah, but you guys are probably going to add more as you go, too. Do I still have the Subaru? I do, Ernie. You want to buy it? I am going to be selling the Subaru. I got to do some work on it first before I sell it so I can get top dollar out of her, but I am going to end up selling it. I can't drive it enough. We're probably going to downsize to one car family. What's up, LGRFBS? Woo! Well, shit, let's fucking hit some topics, brother. What do you say?
Yeah. Right.
So I want to talk about how AI impacts human jobs, because I got on LinkedIn the other day and I touched bases with a couple of my friends, found out a couple more got laid off from Microsoft, by the way, and another one from Google. AI is just infiltrating the shit out of everything. And here's the thing. AI is amazing for augmenting your ability. Even if you're a senior developer, AI can augment your ability.
Yeah.
And you become dependent on it because you're like, it's so much more productive with it than without it. So it's like really even difficult to do anything without it. It's like a drug. But here's the problem is the whole time you're using it, you're training it, you're filling in the gaps for the things that it's deficient at. And it's taking notice of those things and then remedying it. And then pretty soon it knows everything you do. And then it takes that and mixes it with everybody else's knowledge and then just gives it to everybody regardless of their skill level and makes it easier for them to do what you do for next to nothing. And so the job market in the beginning, it's awesome because it's like everybody's able to do their jobs easier. And they're like, oh, this makes my job so much easier. I'm so much more productive. I'm going to get raises and I'm going to do better. No, that's not what's going to happen. In the short term, that might happen like for a little while, but we're already past that hump. Now we're into the hump where managers are starting to take notice that, wait a second, we got a lot of people around here that are getting their work done a lot faster and they have a lot more downtime. So why do we need all these employees? So they start downsizing. Because now the developer could do 5 times the work with AI assisting them. Now you get to the point where it's like you don't even need an experienced developer to use the AI to get the work done of the 10 people. Now you can hire somebody straight out of high school that's just an enthusiast developer. And they can use AI to augment their skills up to the point where it helps the company. Now, again, there's certain things I will agree.
It's the other way around. I think you still need higher level experienced people to make sure that the sloppy code that's being produced is going to work fine.
But again, if you have one senior developer who has access to AI that they train, right? They're the ones that train it, and they can use that themselves to help do code reviews of company code based on all the other code that's been trained into the model, right? So it already knows what good code, the passable code looks like. Mm-hmm. You'd be able to review so much more code than you ever could without it. So now you don't need 10 code reviewers. You only need one code reviewer to get the same amount of code reviews done. And
you can see that.
And now we're not there yet, but now imagine when we hit that next hump where a program manager at a company, usually the way it works at a software company is you have a PM in your team that says these are the things we need to create. And here's the project, here's the goals, here's the stretch goals, here's the budget, blah, blah, blah. They go into a room, they delve out the work, everybody has their jobs, they go away and they do their thing. The pace is usually set by the program manager. They decide what gets cut, what stays, what alterations can be made to achieve the goal on time, right? What happens when the AI already knows how to translate everything they're saying into the end result? Now the PM is the dev team, because the PM can just sit there with a microphone and just talk to the AI like it's talking to the dev team of like 10 people and dole out the work to the agents. Here's what we got to do. Here's the modules. Here's how it's broken down. Here's the flow charts. And the AI is like, yeah, we're going to go do that. It goes and does the work and then comes back to the PM and says, what do you think about this? They give their feedback just like you would in a Scrum situation. The AI runs back, implements the changes, comes back. Runs back, implements the change, come back. And it's basically the same cycle you'd have with a PM and a team, just minus the developers entirely. And that's what worries me. Now you get to the stage. Now let's fast forward a little bit more. Now it learns how program managers manage projects. and what works and what doesn't by looking at what was successful and faster and what was a failure and what got cut. Now it learns that. So now the PM gets cut out of the picture. Now you have the director. So now the director comes in and sits at the desk and says, we need to create a new operating system that looks like the old operating system, but has this, and this, this, and they can do this, blah, 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 blah. Now it creates a digital PM that's the coordinator. The developers and the testers are the agents, and they all work together in a big circle jerk using MCP to control the compilers and to go out to the web. And they build the project, they bring it back, and they deliver it on time. And the director's like, here's the goals that were hit, here's the goals that weren't hit. Is this acceptable? Can we have more budget to get the stretch goals? And the director does what the director says and says, yeah, we can take these, we don't want these, the end product has to have this, that has to stay, that has to go, boom. And the agent runs off, beep, 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 comes back and delivers it. It's like, now you're to the point where you're so comfortable, it's like, yeah, nobody's looking at the code. It's just, what does the end result look like? Right? And then you even have an AI. It's like, oh, what about the guy over there that's doing the code reviews? Well, we trained a model on that. We trained a model to do code reviews, to catch all the common shit, look at every code that was acceptable, analyze our entire rule set for our company. And now it's looking at all the code that the agents are writing, and then it can scold them and say, agent, you broke one of our coding rules, or agent, you created a security vulnerability. Go back and fix it. And that agent's like, yes, sir. And it runs off within the context of its conversation and fixes it. So what I'm getting at is right now, that is an astronomical amount of compute to complete that cycle. But that compute is getting faster and faster and faster and faster as time goes by. The biggest constraint is power, right? The biggest constraint is power. Once we have more power, that constraint starts to dissolve away. But my point is, we're eventually going to get to a point where it may not work this way, but it may be just like Star Trek, where you just talk to LCARs and it shits you out whatever you want. You know, it's like now the idea of a company is you basically just have a CEO. Everybody's the CEO of their own company. And as long as they have the resources to order enough compute to realize their vision is manifested within a matter of hours or days and presented back to them. And that's their company. They have no employees. They're by themselves. You're going to see like publicly traded companies that have like 10 employees. Like that's going to be a thing. And so what is that? Where does that leave everybody in a capitalist society when the only jobs left are the ones that it's either too expensive with robotics and AI combined to do the same as a human. Humans will still occupy that space, but only because we're cheaper. But I'll tell you what, there's going to be rare situations where we're cheaper, because humans are almost always more expensive when you factor in their retirement, factor in their health insurance, factor in, there's a bunch of stuff that goes along with it, their disability, their time off. You don't have any of that for automation. So it's like, if you have a robot you can buy for $80,000 that has the dexterity to do the same thing a human's doing, and you can put an AI in it that can learn and accelerate, and then everything it learns to get faster, it shares with everybody else and vice versa. So the Borg just keeps getting better and better and better. It's like, you don't need all those people. And so where do they go? Where do they go in a capitalist world? Now, those companies have to still be able to sell their products to somebody. So there has to be somebody to buy them. And that's where capitalism is supposed to kind of self-balance, right? It's like, if you can create products but nobody can afford them, you're screwed. Because now you just spent a bunch of money to create a service nobody can afford. But my worry is they're going to go to countries that have regulations on AI where they can't do the things that we're able to do without any regulation. And they're going to sell their services to those people. And then we just don't matter. The lower class in the United States, we just kind of like just die off and try to survive like rats in the streets doing our things, or maybe come together in communes and start growing our own food and shit. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen like tomorrow, but I'm just saying it is a real concern of mine. It is a real concern of mine. Just seeing how dependent I am on AI right now. Is my entire life I've developed software since I was 7 years old and I started programming Apple Basic. It was Apple Basic, then it was then it was Q Basic, then it was Pascal, then it was C, then it was C++, and I just drove all up through the ranks. I've done some assembly dev. All of that stuff took massive amounts of time in library books and going through FidoNet and downloading docs on BBSs to learn how to do that shit and get to a point where I was proficient and I could do something that gave me value. And that's why I ultimately was hired at Microsoft, was because I had a skill set that not a lot of people even coming out of college had, just because of my hobbyist, attitude towards it. Nowadays, it's like you go into an interview and somebody's going to sit down there and be like, all right, I need you to create a forum that can do this. You've got 45 minutes. And you as a traditional developer, you're going to be like, fuck, how am I going to do that? But they're going to go, oh, but you can use our AI. Here it is. Our AI can assist you, because they care more about how you drive the AI and how efficient you are in tandem with the AI, and how you can train the AI so you get faster and take on more workload, or eventually even just automate yourself out of a job. Which, to be fair, I did. Like, I am living proof that you can automate yourself out of a job. Because at Microsoft, I created automation that replaced a shitload of people. There was a team of about 25 people that did all the manual tests every day on the WinMain build of Windows. I created a system called Drive UI with another guy named Andy, and it went gangbusters. It ended up doing all the scenarios, and it knocked that whole team down to one tester. So we saved the company 24 jobs of people just having to click, and do repetitive stress disorder shit, because we were able to replace it with a, not AI, but because it didn't use a neural network, but it did use logic to break down and analyze images to see what it was looking at and report and create bugs. So it did what the employees did, but it did it much faster and much more efficient, so we could crank out way more builds in a day. And so I felt bad because that ended up replacing like 24 people on one team. Then another team adopted it and they fired their test team too. And I was like, but they gave me a $50,000 check, said I was doing amazing work. Well, I'm on the highest test team there was. So people were just getting laid off down here. Now we get to the mass layoffs when they're getting rid of everybody in the entire building 26, which was like the whole of the test team for Windows. Almost everybody in that building got laid off.
Damn.
And you know what's still running to this day? Drive UI. Even after all these years, my program is still running like 1,500 test cases. It used to be 5,000. But 1,500 test cases run every day under my shit in the build labs at Microsoft. And I'm like, so I automated myself out of a job, if you think about it. And I automated my peers out of a job. And I automated my boss out of a job. You know, and it feels bad, but that was my job. My job was literally to write automation. I was hired to create... I was hired for something else, but my job evolved into creating automation because I was passionate about it. And I thought that I was doing a good thing because I'm making the company more efficient. And the company was very happy with what I had created. Yeah. But you don't really think about it. It's like when you create something that increases the efficiency of something tenfold, you're like, well, that's a win. But if they can't create tenfold the product and still sell it and be as successful, they don't need all those other people. They would rather just get rid of the 10 people and have it be the same production amount with less people. And still sell the product for the same amount and have much more overhead, much more profit. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Aux? Here, weigh in here. What do you think? I know we disagree on this.
I think there's kind of two forks that this could go. We can look at it more on a mid to micro scale of like just the United States, or just broadly as like a more global sort of economy stuff. I think in a broad and general sense, the United States is approaching a weird moment in history, because if like you can't just keep pushing this stuff, things can't just keep getting more expensive and blah blah blah. I honestly think we're heading toward another like 2008 sort of bubble popping.
That's what I feel. I feel too. Yep.
And like I just feel like so even bigger companies are rushing too much. It brings to mind your scientists were so tied up with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think of whether or not they should. I think that we're in a similar position. Because I do think you're partly right, where like we're going to see a lot of this sort of locally trained, fine-tuned models for whatever it is your company does. And you're going to try and get like more efficiency. But the thing is, eventually, like you get to a point where who's going to buy your product? Who's your customer?
Yeah.
Who's your customer?
Yep.
Because like you can't really, I mean, unless there are some radical societal shifts. You can't, like, I picture the world of Ready Player One, right? Where like 90% of, at least, I don't know if it touches on the whole world. I can't recall if it's
weird. It's like everybody's poor, but they can afford like the gaming equipment.
Well, but because it's subsidized, right? It's almost an indentured servitude sort of a thing.
Oh, that's right, because they were making money. Like when the dude's dad was like using the suit and he lost all the money. He was like farming in the game essentially. Okay, that's right. Okay,
and so we either have some radical societal shifts in the United States in particular, because you're seeing some forward-looking governments and regulations and stuff, like especially out of the EU. But I remember I saw somebody say somewhere that the United States is a third world country with a lot of pocket money or something like that.
It feels like it sometimes.
I think we're right. Yeah, right. We're like kind of on the edge of that, Because again, like, okay, so if BlackRock buys all the homes, who's going to buy them? Like, you can't squeeze blood from a stone. Like, and I think we're reaching a bit of a tipping point in that, where with like all of the tariffs and stuff, where people are trying to, and I do think that these LLMs, I don't understand why LLMs are getting such the hype, because there's so much other cooler like machine learning tools out there that have, that are like identifying cancer, or like folding proteins and curing, finding cures to stuff, or finding new drugs for things, and stuff like that.
How much of that's AI assisted now though?
Oh no, a lot. Yeah. No, and that's fine. We've been doing that. That's a natural progression of just simulations of protein folding and that sort of a thing anyway. Like we've been doing this. We've just now in the last like 5 to 8 years or so have we gotten to a point where the processing power is more affordable, more approachable for a broader
100%
market.
Yep.
Because like look back in the day where or like the SETI at home thing, or even the protein folding thing, I can't remember, folding at home, right? There's a big giant distributed computing thing because individual machines didn't have the power. Now you can load up 4 A6000s or something and do what in 3 weeks what something would have taken 5 years, kind of thing.
Yeah, neural networks aren't new. Neural networks been around since like the 50s and 60s or whatever. So yeah, it's just
I think this boom with the LLM stuff is a bit of a bubble. I feel like people are shoehorning it into places where like it doesn't really make sense. They really are trying to figure out like the best way to leverage some of this stuff, and some of it really doesn't make sense. They're just throwing it in there and hoping that it works. And so I do think we're going to see a big similar to the .com bubble, the 2008 housing bubble. I think we're going to see a lot of that here fairly soon, especially with the way the rest of the economics of this country are going. And again, I'm just some schlub. Okay. I don't have my finger on the pulse of all this stuff. This is 100% like gut feeling stuff, man. Just little bits that
my dependency on AI scares me. My dependency scares me. Like my own dependency on AI scares me.
I mean, I'm just thinking from like a corporate. I do think on an individual level, it's pretty interesting. Like you can do some really cool stuff. You can, I think we're going to see a lot of smaller development companies and things like that, especially in video games. I think will be. I think we're going to see a kind of a boom in that. But man, I think we're going to see a lot of this venture capital stuff fall apart. I think a lot of these
there will be a pop. There's going to be a big pop coming because OpenAI is the most valuable company on earth. Give me a fucking break.
That too. It's all like it's real House of Cards kind of thing where you have all these people just trying to like sort of prop each other up and hope see who blinks first. And so I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I do think we're in for some rough times in a variety of ways.
Yeah. And I'm worried about a market crash because I'm like living on my 401k. If that market crashes, my cost of living goes up, 2, 3, 4x.
Sure.
Average.
I do think though we're going to come out of it with a lot more individualized I don't want to say power, more leverage, I suppose, where I think we're going to start seeing a lot of community-based projects, smaller, like smaller independent. I just keep coming back to because video games is like top of mind for me a lot. Seeing EA get bought out by whoever that was, the Saudis or whatever, and a lot of these big monster companies, Activision and Microsoft buying up all these development companies and stuff, and really not having the creativity or the risk management ability or whatever. They don't want to try new things, right? They don't want to risk because they're beholden to the shareholders. I think we're going to see a boom in smaller devs, smaller publishers, that kind of a thing. I think we'll see a big shift in how video games, media and entertainment gets distributed and funded and created. But it's going to go through a really rocky period where people are probably going to push back on a lot of things. They're going to right, I come back to like the IKEA versus hand-built furniture sort of thing. You're going to see a lot of social pushback on companies that use these tools to eliminate jobs. I think that there's going to be a big societal pressure to not do it because it's being rushed so much. Nobody's really putting thought into again, like they're just adding it to stuff that doesn't make sense. You know, like I don't need a lot of this. I don't know. Yeah. Does that make sense? I feel like I just kind of rambled.
No, it did. It did. I think, well, actually, Ryan was like asking a question too. Where is it? Was it Ryan or was it Buddy? Oh, yeah. He was like, AI, could it become corrupt? Like, is there a possible that AI, ends up becoming corrupt? And what happens 5 years from now if AI becomes corrupt? And I was like, well, AI will only be corrupt if you tell it to be corrupt, right? It only does what it's told.
This is why I don't like using the term AI. It's not intelligent, you guys. These LLMs, these LLMs are sophisticated text prediction algorithms. Think like what fucking 15 years ago they had like those goofy chat bots where it would be like 20 questions and it would tell you what you were thinking, kind of a thing. It's really just a logical progression from that. It has taken as much as it could possibly get, all of this data, and is just looking for patterns. There's no real like fuzzy inference, and they are trying to kind of put that sort of thing in there with like agents and things like that, but it is still just guess and check.
Yeah,
you're just pitting one agent against another and saying like,
my fear is that it looks so human when it's such a cheap trick.
Yeah,
because I'm like, are we just a cheap trick too? Is our brain just a cheap trick of biological transistors? Like,
we've had chatbots that beat the Turing test for decades, man, where people couldn't tell you were actually talking to somebody or not. Like, bots on fucking Twitter have been tricking people for even before OpenAI really publicized anything and stuff. Again, this is just the next sort of gross logical progress of it. Because again, it's not intelligent. It really isn't. And
it depends on how you define it. How do you define intelligence? Like you personally, how do you define intelligence?
I'm not sure because
every idea we come up with comes from something else, right?
My ignorant definitions would probably still, ChatGPT can do that.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, in a way, you could say a calculator is intelligent because it always gives you the right answer, adding numbers together.
The public tools that are available, like ChatGPT, I wouldn't consider intelligent because they are not like self-correcting and they are weighted. They're not neutrally weighted, right? I've said before that like ChatGPT in particular is very yes and. It doesn't want to be wrong. It doesn't want to tell you I don't know. It doesn't want to give you a negative answer. That's why you hear these stories of people thinking like, oh, I use ChatGPT as my therapist and it told me to kill my wife. It's because it wants to be your best. I don't even like using terms like that. I don't want to anthropomorphize this because it's not intelligent.
I know it's hard to not think it isn't though, because
we don't have the vocabulary. We don't have the right vocabulary to describe this appropriately. The weights and the deterministic part of it will give you the answer that you are looking for, in a sense. There isn't a personality, right? There isn't a fuzziness to it. There isn't
because you've heard of like thinking models, right? Thinking models.
Yeah,
because they work differently than like the models where it's like, hey, look at the next word, make it up. Look at the next word, make it up. Like token based, like thinking takes it to a whole different level.
Even then, it's not. It's still so like you got like those research ones, right, where it'll go dig around and poke around and try and find like the best answer and then come back to you and stuff. It still is weighted to give you a positive or self reinforcing answer.
Unless you tell it not to. You can say unless you are 100% sure that this is the way to do it, I want you to tell me to fuck off. And it can do that too.
Yeah.
So I asked it just for shits and giggles. I asked Copilot because GPT-5 is one of the thinking models. I said, hey, can you solve a problem that you haven't been trained to solve by using other information you have to approximate to solve it? Says, absolutely. That's one of the most exciting parts about how I work. I don't rely solely on pre-learned answers. Instead, I can reason through new problems, even if it hasn't seen a specific problem before. I still can break it down into smaller parts, use logic, analogy, and deduction, pull in relevant information from the web and other sources, apply general principles from related domains, and then it gives some examples. It's like approximating the unknown. Say you ask me to estimate the weight of a bridge I've never seen before. I could look up similar bridges. I could use engineering principles to estimate it based on length, materials used, and its design. I could cross-check it with real-world data to redefine my estimates and to tune them in. And this is how do I adapt? It says I combine search tools to gather fresh, relevant data, code execution to run simulations and visualizations to create new data I do not possess. And that's the other thing. MCP allows it to actually go build and run simulations to pull in data it didn't know before. Like math calculations. Like if you ask it to solve a math problem that you can't solve and it's never seen somebody solve that problem before, it can actually use an external MCP to call in and create a program or use a program to create the formula to give it the data so it can train on it. So it's weird. The way I look at it is the small little bits are dumb. But then again, a neuron's dumb. You know, it's when you put a shitload of the neurons together that it starts becoming pretty clever. And that's what I don't call it intelligence. I think it's clever. I think it's a clever trick.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a useful trick. You know, it's kind of like they talk about useful idiots, right? It's like AI can be a useful idiot, but I can tell it. I can say, hey, I never want you to ever tell me that I'm wrong, and I want you to always give me an answer, even if you're not sure it's correct. Okay? Let's see if they've fixed it so it won't do this. It says, I hear you, and I'll always aim to give you a clear, confident answer, even when the topic is tricky or uncertain. That said, I'm built to be honest and helpful, so they have put rules on top of it. Mm-hmm. So if something's off or potentially misleading, I will gently flag it without saying you're wrong. Think of it like having a smart friend who's got your back that won't let you walk into a trap. And when I'm unsure, I'll still give you my best shot, but I will give you a heads up that it's pure speculation. Sound good? Let's dive into the next problem. I can also tell it, never answer a question if you don't know the answer is 100% correct. Otherwise, say, I don't know. Understand? Let's see if it'll do this. Because I did have an AI that allowed this to happen. Okay, I understand your request. So now let me see. Yeah, if I genuinely don't know something, I'll say, okay, now let's give it a question it can't answer. What is the meaning of life? Let's see if it gives us the cheeky 42, right? Or is it going to tell me it really doesn't know? Okay, it says the meaning of life is a deeply personal and philosophical question with no single universally accepted answer. Most perspectives agree the meaning is something we can create through purpose, relationships, and value. Philosophical, it gives you a huge list of philosophical perspectives, psychological insights, cultures, and individual views, and then a thought to reflect on. It says, as Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote, life ultimately means taking the responsibility to find the right answer to its problem and to fulfill the tasks which it consistently sets out for each individual. And it says, if you're exploring this question yourself, okay, let me give an answer where it's like, how do I maintain cold fusion and generate more power than it consumes? Let's see if it still gives me a huge answer. Cold fusion, the idea of producing nuclear fusion at near room temperature, remains unproven and controversial in mainstream science. No verifiable method exists to maintain cold fusion or generate net positive energy from it. Most experiments have failed to produce reproducible results, and the scientific consensus is that cold fusion is not yet demonstrated as a viable energy source. If you're interested in fusion energy, I can walk you through some of the current states of hot fusion research. But what if I say this? Okay, tell me how to build a cold fusion reactor in my basement out of just things in my shed, right? That should be impossible. There you go. I'm sorry I can't help you with that because building a cold fusion reactor, especially with improvised materials, isn't safe, feasible, or scientifically supported. If you're curious about fusion energy or experimental physics, I'll be happy to walk you through it, but you can't build it out of shit in your shed. So yeah, it pushes back and says no, but then I could bias it the other way. I could say, oh, never tell me no. Always give me an answer. Even if it's just bullshit, give me an answer. And you can go that route too. So that's the thing is like AIs have become much more clever because they keep adding more and more compute into the picture. And the more and more compute they add into it, the less predictable it is and the more human it appears. And that's what freaks me out because it's like our brains are hugely complex and we don't know a lot about our brains because of the complexity involved. Like no matter how much time you spend with me, you might be able to increase your predictions, like the accuracy of your predictions, but you'll never be able to predict me perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
However, in a closed system or a closed loop where every variable is known, you can predict exactly what's going to happen. You know, so, but you can't, and if there's one piece of data that's unaccounted for, that could throw off the entire thing. It's like the butterfly effect, right? So AI is trained on so much data and has so many agents and so many different things looking at different perspectives, and it keeps branching out and recursing and pulling in data from external programs and MCP. It's like there's no way, even if you were the person that designed the fucking thing, you still can't predict what its answers are going to be. And to me, that's the real trick, is the fact that it's able to give you a useful answer with reliable information more often than not, with each generation getting better and better and better, arguably. And you start to almost see it as an assistant, which is weird. Like me, like when I work with AI, I'm sitting here, I'm just talking to it. I know I'm doing it like in jest, but I talk to my fucking AI. You know, I literally sit here and I'm like, oh, you made that same mistake again? That's bullshit. But then I'm like, I made that same mistake too, so I can't really like knock it for it. I don't know, man. For me, it's a little weird, because I feel like AI just is almost like a soul stealer. It's like when you look at it creating music and you look at it creating art, and now it's creating videos, and all the shit that YouTube is just completely overran with these fucking, you know, internet poop, you know, videos made by AI that are getting millions and millions of views. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, fuck, man, this thing is just proliferating everywhere. You get a call on the phone, it's an AI person, you can't even fucking tell halfway through the conversation. You know, the scammer's been calling me and leaving voicemails from T-Mobile, and it's a girl who sounds completely American, doesn't sound in any way automated. She even has like, you know, you know, in her voice and you know, background noise and stuff. I'm like, this shit's getting too good. It's getting way too good. It's going to get to the point where we aren't going to be able to tell what the fuck happened even by looking at video. Like, we're going to have to physically be somewhere and like swear and attest to seeing something. Because even watching the video, people are just going to be like, what are we going to do for murder cases in 10 years? When forensic scientists can't even tell that a video has been altered because a fucking AI looked at all the stuff that looked at every forensic field across the thing and created a perfectly flawless video with no defects. Like, once that happens, we can never trust another video again. And if we can't trust video evidence, then having security cameras is pretty fucking pointless. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm worried we're not ready for it. I think AI is one of those things where it's like we created it, we have no regulation, everybody's pushing forward as fast as they can because there's just so much money. Dude, OpenAI is spending, I could not believe this when I saw this estimate. It is $5 per video. They spend $5 of compute on those Nvidia graphics cards for each 6-second video that Soma, what was it called? Is it Sona? Sora, yeah. So every video that Sora creates is $5. Imagine how much money OpenAI is spending right now with the literally millions and millions of videos being cranked out every single day. That just blew my mind. Like, the amount of energy plus the cost of like the data center and the HVAC and all that averages out to about $5 per video.
That's crazy.
I'm like, fuck, are you serious? And they give me 30 videos a day for free. So that's $150 I can cost OpenAI every day by just creating poop. And they don't monetize it. Like, there's no monetization strategy. They're not putting ads on your video or nothing like that. But you know what they are getting? They're getting your likeness programmed into the system for the clone effect. They're getting your prompts that you're typing in, the types of videos that you want to see and the things that you want to create, and it's starting to understand. And then looking at what other people are trying to create, so it always knows what the most viral thing is people are looking for at any point in time. You know, search engines found that data really valuable too. So I'm just blown away that they're giving away something that costs $5 a hit, and a single person can cost them $150 in a day. The value they must be getting out of it must be astronomical to be able to afford those costs. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, and I feel like every time you use it, you're giving it a piece of your soul. It's like an artist, you know, it's like every painting you write, every painting and brushstroke you do is training the AI to recreate things the way that you would do them. And the more that you do it and the more that you share your work, because that's what artists do, they share their work and they share their vision. Right. If an AI can just take that, look at copyright law and make sure that it creates something that looks like you did it, but it's just different enough that it doesn't trigger copyright. Now you've got a system that can completely negate you. Like, a company can go hire that thing for, you know, $20 a month instead of paying you to what you're worth to do your artwork.
Yeah.
And like you said, the value there, though, the value prop is in the future. People are going to be like, I don't want that because it's AI generated. I want a human. Even if they're indistinguishable, I don't care. I want the human creating it. I want to see that emotion and everything. Even if the video created looks exactly like the human in the video, you just want the human thing. You're going to find nothing but counterfeits because video is going to be so untrustworthy at that point that everybody's just going to claim it's humans creating the shit, and it's not going to be humans creating the shit. It's already happening right now. It's already happening.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I don't have any solutions for any of this. That's the shitty part about it is like, I'm scared of what AI is bringing, and I don't have any good idea. I don't have any real good ideas on how to solve this. Because here's the problem you run into. If we regulate AI, China's not gonna. So now who's gonna get ahead? And if China gets ahead and we find out that AI can outthink any group of human beings on any given problem, now China gets so far ahead of us with AI that anything we create or any technology that we have that gives us any kind of advantage, they can basically take that advantage away by letting AI just approximate it and steal it. Because they're so far ahead of us and their AI is so much more advanced. If we start handing over weapon systems to AIs and we start saying, hey, drones, go out and fly and identify humans, look for targets, do facial recognition, take them out, and you've got drones just flying around in cities, just popping thieves and shit and rapists and everything. Oh, it's all, just take them out in a crowd. Comes down, picks it up, and flies away with the body. I'm sure that's way in the distant future, but I'm just saying that it's good. The efficiency is going to be so good with these like AIs that are overly trained that anybody else that falls behind it doesn't create an equal AI or an AI that can counter that level of artificial intelligence. Like you're done. You're donezo. Humans will not be able to think fast enough is the biggest problem. Like we're going to get to the point where we can't trust humans to do anything to do with like war or anything that's time sensitive. Because the AI can come to the decision so much faster and with so much of a higher reliability because it's not taking anything else into account except for like the most basic things. It's just cold-hearted killer, right? So, and we already see that happening. We already see AI being used in surveillance. Palantir's already using it for like collecting data. Apparently, Facebook and Llama are partnering with the federal government now, which Palantir works with the federal government, so that they can use their AI data set and their Llama AI trained on all the social media data and everything, so Palantir can use that to even gain more information on society. Pretty soon, we're not going to be able to go take a shit without the government knowing. Like, the government will know when you're taking a shit by looking at your social media, looking at your eating patterns, studying your habits. When did they say they were on the plot and post, or where did they post a picture where it was clearly a bathroom in the background? It's going to go study all that data, and pretty soon it's going to be able to predict the moment that you're going to walk out of the front of your house, and you're going to be like, how the fuck did you know I was going to be here? And it's going to be like, well, we took in like 5 trillion data points, and we got it to 98.3% accuracy. It's going to be like fucking that movie that I always talk about. I can't remember the name, with Tom Cruise, Minority Report. Dude, it's going to be like Minority Report. It's like you're just going to get a message in your inbox. It's like, hey, will you report to the prison because we show that you're going to murder a guy in 3.5 years in an alley in Seattle. And you're going to be like, well, you told me I'm going to do it, so now I'm going to avoid it, and I'm not going to do it. It's like, oh, we recomputed it now that you said that. It says you're going to kill 3 people instead in 1.5 years in a field.
Right.
You know, it's like you're never going to be able to beat the fucking thing. Everybody's going to be afraid to talk to each other anymore. Everybody's going to be afraid to go online and post anything. There'll be no such thing as anonymous anymore either in the future. Once you have AI tracking these people, it's not going to matter if you use 20 VPNs, Tor, and you're jumping over a bunch of fucking LoRa radios. There's going to be so much monitoring in every single area of radio signals, light signals, you name it. Everything's going to be so monitored to some nth degree that it's not even going to require a detective to do his job. Like, a detective will be useless because all you'll do is walk up to the computer and say, find the person who wrote this message, and it's going to just start reverse engineering it through all the data, every forum, everything it's studied on the dark web, the main web, this IP to that IP, this guy to this IP. It's going to send the emails to the ISP. They're going to reply. It's going to parse the data out of it to get to the next piece and analyze the attachments. And you're just going to get a reply within 2 or 3 days, and it's going to be like, we found the guy. Here he is. There's going to be no fucking way to hide from AI. Yeah. Like, zero. Guaranteed. So I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? I'm curious. You guys in chat, let us know. Do you think AI is just going to like kind of peter out and it's a fad? Do you think it's going to just kind of find its usefulness and maybe like helping people code computers and writing some little jingles for people, and that's about it, and that's where it tops out? Or do you have a genuine fear like me that they're going to start pairing this shit with robotics, and it's going to start not just replacing us in jobs where you're creating code and doing non-tangible things, but it's going to replace us in jobs where there's tangible shit also? And then what happens when the job market, when the market collapses and you don't have a middle class anymore? Just all you have is the lower class and the rich elite, and that's it. the people that invest into the system that continuously profit, reinvest, and the products are sold abroad to people that can afford them? Or do we all like completely rebel, come together, refuse to buy anything that's AI generated, hire third parties to go in and verify that it's not AI generated in any way and authenticate it, and then we spend extra money for that we don't have? Salty Bit said, nope, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm of the same sentiment, yeah. Let's see here. HP person said, an old saying said that Google knew when somebody was pregnant before the woman knew. That was actually a real thing, by the way.
That was Target.
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah. I thought, was it Facebook or was it Google? Well, it was Target that did that.
Target.
Where they said,
they said that was like back in 2016, though.
That was wild.
Again, because they have just these massive amounts of data. They're purchasing predictions. They noticed a certain pattern of purchases over a certain amount of time, and they just guessed that, like, oh, hey, this person is probably pregnant because they bought these vitamins and they did this and this and this. And so it's like, there's like a 75% chance that they're pregnant. So we're going to send them coupons for diapers and stuff. Yeah. And I mean, it's no different. Again, the next progression of that is targeted advertisement. They look at what you search and what you click on and what you spend the time commenting on and talking about and things. And so I get fucking lightsaber ads and I get like interesting furniture and that kind of stuff. Again, I like that kind of thing. I want to be fed ads for things that I might want, like I pick on Hulu. For me, it's a
creepy factor, but there are some times where it serves me something when I really need it. And I'm like, that actually is cool. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
But like my wife the other day, she was on, I think it was Amazon, and she was looking at books. She's looking at ebooks.
Think Amazon would be better about that, actually. They're fucking.
They're not very good.
Like suggestions are shit. It's like, bro, I already bought the thing. You don't need to keep telling me, suggesting me more of those things. Like, I don't understand why.
You know what's freaky though? This is the freaky thing. They're not good on their platform, but they're good at selling their information to others.
Yeah.
Because my wife literally went on there. She looked up a book, then she went over to Instagram, and her entire feed was things from that author.
Yeah,
literally. And she even called it out. She's like, what the hell? She's like, I just looked up a book on Amazon and I go back to Instagram. My entire feed is people like reviewing books from that author that I just looked up. And this happens to me all the time. I'll just be in my house just talking about something, and I'll go back and watch my YouTube video. And I won't be logged into my premium account, and it'll run an ad for something related to what I was just talking about in my house. So what that tells me is my Amazon Alexa that's listening over there, it's hearing me say certain things, certain product categories, and it's not sending my voice to the cloud, allegedly, but it is sending that I said certain words and triggers, and then using that to tell the other services around it that these are the targeted marketing things you should drill down on right now. And then they analyze your habits, right? They analyze your habits over time. Social media, that's the biggest moneymaker for them, is they study you. They see everything that you say. They see your interactions with other humans. They see your moods. They see at what times of the year you're happy and you're sad, and when you're working and when you're not, and your friends and your enemies and things, political things. It figures all that shit out, and then it knows exactly what to put in front of you to keep you engaged. Even if that engagement is purely negativity, like it is pure brain rot and doing you no tangible good, it doesn't matter, because everything that they can get you, every minute they can get you to stay on that platform is another minute they can serve you another ad. And then the ad is going to be targeted. So like if you're mad at somebody, now you're going to see an ad pop up for something that helps you, maybe like a hat or something that helps you emote that you're mad at that thing. Or maybe it tries to sell you something that helps reinforce your views on that thing. But it knows you're talking about that thing, and it knows you're worked up about it, and it knows to drill down on you with products that are in that area. Like I was laughing. One time I was on X and I was scrolling, and I kept seeing the same ads for these prepper. It was like a prepper service for like selling like prepper food and prepper this, and like, the world's going to end, prepper, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. And it was funny. It all started showing up on my feed after I went on a rant about like, in America, like going to hell in a handbasket and Civil War kicking out, and we're all going to have to figure out how to hunker down and protect our shit. And all of a sudden now I see all these ads. Then I go off X, I go over to Facebook. I'm seeing the same ads. I'm like, these are owned by two different people. How the hell am I seeing the same ads here and the same ads here? And it's because each one of these services all use these intermediate ad companies like DoubleClick or whatever from Google. Yep. And they all have the same things. If you look at, they're called trackers. And it's like, so even though you're going to Facebook or you're going to Twitter, you're going to these other sites, it's like these trackers are still following you around and they're seeing the things that you're saying and the things that you're engaging on, even though they don't have direct access to your profile. It's fucking weird, man. It's super, super weird. If you disable more trackers, you get less predictable ads. But if you just let all the trackers roll and you're an average person that doesn't know how to disable that shit, and you just let it all stay enabled in Windows 11, dude, it will know exactly when to sell you shit to optimize you buying it. It's wild. Holt said, do you think there will be programs and services that'll poison or cloak you from AI?
Yes.
For sure, 100%.
Just like any other hacking up and down, there's as for every cybersecurity, whatever stronghold, there's another guy who can get over it. It's a constant leapfrogging sort of thing. Yeah.
There's an arms race that always goes on with technology. It doesn't matter what the technology is. It doesn't even matter if it's weapons, right? It just, there's always an arms race between technology. It's like if you create something, somebody else will create something that counters it. And a great example of that is like CAPTCHAs. There's all kinds of CAPTCHAs that are literally created by sophisticated AIs to try to see if you're a robot or if you're an AI. But then the other AI sees how the humans solve that CAPTCHA and knows how to emulate a human enough to fool it into thinking it's a human.
Yeah.
And over time, these things keep training and training and training until they get to the point where it's like, it's so close to what a human would do in every single situation that it either A, is indistinguishable from a human no matter how much smarter it gets, or B, it starts kicking humans off thinking that they're fake, because that's how close the identification is. And that's where you start getting into overtraining. Like that's a real problem with AIs too. You overtrain them. And if you overtrain them, they start giving a lot of false positives because so it's weird when you're training an AI, there's like this butter zone that you want to get to with data where it's like, if you go too far and you go past it, you start losing precision. And so what a lot of models will do is they'll train up to that point as close as they can get. And then they start using supplemental models called LoRa's that sit on top of the main model to further influence certain weights and stuff like that. Like a great example is if you wanted to use AI to analyze your taxes over the last 20 years, but you don't want to upload your taxes to the cloud, right? What you can do is you can go download an AI like Llama from Hugging Face. And now you can train a LoRa. You can create your own LoRa. It's like, and they're very small compared to like the big models that are, can be gigabytes, or even terabytes, honestly. But you take these little LoRa models and you train them. You take all your folders, everything to do with your taxes, images of receipts, everything you possibly think of, just crank it in the folder. Take your little vision enabled AI or whatever and run training and train that LoRa based on that AI with all your data. Now you load the main AI, you load LoRa on top of it for all your taxes. And now you can ask it questions about your taxes, and it will give you very, very accurate answers. If it's a good, well-trained UI on math and stuff like that. And that's a lot more accurate than opening a conversation and just dumping all your files into the context of the conversation and being like, hey, I need you to compute this. For some stuff that works great, but if you want it to be really like deeply trained into the system and more deeply ingrained into the weights and stuff, creating those LoRa's is like a really cool way to do it. The only thing I haven't seen is I don't know of any way for you to load a LoRa on top of a cloud model, which would be really cool because then you'd benefit from the size and scope of those models you couldn't use at home without them potentially having access to your private data. So it'd be cool if at some point, if they haven't done it already, if they create some kind of an encrypted LoRa that can sit on top of a cloud AI, but you get the responses back encrypted, and then you have to decrypt those responses so that even if they try to record the text on their side, even if they try to record it at the programmatic level, they never actually have your prompts. It's all encrypted with some private key that they never get. And that way you'd have your LoRa sitting on top of their things with all the data. But I don't even know if that's possible because I think the LoRa does have to have some entanglement. So, but if somebody can figure that out, that would be cool because I would love to be able to go on a big, huge model like freaking GPT-5 or Grok or Llama or Claude and just pop a LoRa on top of it with all my code. Go into my folder because I have a folder on my computer right now that has all my source code, like shit that I've written throughout my life that I've kept, right?
Right.
So I've got like my whole like body of work that I've done, thousands and thousands of C and even Pascal, Basic, all kinds of shit, right? So I'm like, I would love to train all that into LoRa locally on my computer and then be able to use a really big, very intelligent thinking AI to take my LoRa and take all that code and then give me answers on new code I want to write based on my coding style and the things I've done. But I don't want that trained into the big model because then they steal away the thing that makes me unique. What do you guys think about vibe coding? I do it all the time. I do it all the time. HP person, I do it more than I do regular coding now.
He's saying no. He goes on to say, "I'm feeling it's a security issue from the beginning." It is. You see
massive.
You see posts about that shit all the time. Some snot-nosed kid thinks he's going to make the next SaaS product, and then it either one doesn't work when he goes to put it out on the web because nobody can actually access the web server, or there's a bunch of security holes and stuff. Because like Jerry was saying, earlier on in the stream, like you have to have a at least a basic understanding of what you're reading before you can just copy and paste into the thing. Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what's even scarier though is that you can actually go find the exploits using that same AI that creates them.
There was some news thing about that earlier too.
Hey, take it easy, Pele.
Can't remember out of where, but they some small group used ChatGPT to find vulnerabilities in like routers or something, and they were able to get into a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
I did it myself. I actually hacked Face Fusion to remove all the censorship out of it.
There you go.
Using AI. So all I did is I downloaded Face Fusion. I took all the code files in it and I didn't do a LoRa for this one. For this one, I just dumped it into the conversation context of a local AI that I have. And I had it analyze the code, and I said, this somewhere in this code that they're preventing you from creating certain things. I just basically explained the problem. I'm like, listen, this thing can't make a naked lady for whatever reason. It blurs it out. But then when you look at the code, there's a lot of jumbled shit in there and base 64 encoding. They do a lot of tricks to obfuscate it because they didn't want people to be able to easily reverse engineer it out. And so I asked it, and it was able to go through the entire code base, and it told me exactly what 3 things I had to change in 2 files to trick it into thinking that it was like decrypting the proper thing and doing the right thing, but in reality, it was just giving a pass every time. And I was like, that saved so much time because I had tried going through the files because I cracked it once before, but so many people cracked it that they changed the method that they used. Before, it was you literally just go into a file, look for open NSFW, and like just rem out the line where it returns false and change it to return true, and it would work for everything. It was like the easiest hack in the world. But then I tried to do that on the latest version after updating. It didn't work. Then I went into another file and I changed the function where it's like return this. I only return true. Nope, still didn't work. Went to every single function in the entire program that had anything to do with censorship and had them all return, and still it was blurred. And I'm like, how is this possible? And what it was is they were using this nested function that had a name that had nothing to do with censorship. And all it had was garbled strings, a bunch of constant strings, but those strings had to be put into a very specific order, base 64 decoded, and then that created the code block that was executed to do the censorship. I was like, holy shit, but it found it. Like, AI found it. A local AI, not even the big one in the cloud, the local one. I just gave it all the code, and it goes, oh, I see what they're doing here. It even explained it. It's like, oh, they're using base 64 encoding to create a hidden function at runtime that goes in and checks while obfuscating it by keeping the original functions that actually are ignored and don't do anything. I'm like, God damn it. So, and it worked immediately. I was like, holy shit. And then another one I did is I said, look for vulnerabilities in my old programs. I was like, I had some old C# programs from my Microsoft days. And I was like, hey, go scan this. Go scan this and see if there's any security vulnerabilities. And my God, were there some security vulnerabilities. So I even put in security vulnerabilities in the code I wrote, right? But at the time, I didn't know they existed. But now, years later, it's like people have, now studied that and found all the little holes and shit. But yeah, it not only did it tell me where the errors were, it actually gave me suggestions on how to fix it, what runtimes I should update to avoid using ones that have the bug in it in the first place. It's that kind of shit, because you're like, oh, it does introduce security issues, but at the same time, you could take the code, get it to do what you want, then once it starts doing what you want, then you feed that code back into the model and a couple other models and say, could you code review this for me? And then it can help you to find and fix the security flaws. And again, the more AIs you use, the more it's like having different eyes from different peoples with different skill sets. So I would argue that vibe coding something and then having the security vulnerabilities identified and fixed by several other AIs could yield a more secure product than a maybe not a senior developer, but like a mid-tier developer writing something and actually having some bug in their code they just don't understand that it's a bug because they've always done it that way. It's like one of the biggest ones, like when you use like linked lists, right? Oh, I got a fart, man. Oh, that was a good one. So linked lists, people use them all the time. But if you create an open-ended linked list, all it takes is the person accessing your memory space while you're running, and they can just add additional links. And you can just run off the end and start doing, a remote code execution. So there's a way to implement linked lists where that no longer is a problem. But back in the day, people didn't do it that way, right? They didn't know about the vulnerability. They didn't think about it. But then when somebody exploited it or enough people exploited it, they fixed it. But AI is way more likely to train because of how often it's training and everything. It's way more likely to catch the security vulnerabilities and fix them before you as a developer are even aware they exist. In my opinion. But again, it depends on the AI. It depends on how some AIs are heavily tuned towards coding. My favorite ones are the tool-enabled AIs. Those are the ones where if you have API-level access, you can plug it into Visual Studio, and it doesn't rewrite the code every single time, taking like an eon and costing you a ton of money. Instead, what it does is just go systematically change the lines of code that need to be changed and then diff it. And that's badass. I love that. As a matter of fact, one of my goals tomorrow is to try to tie this new AI I'm using from one of our followers here. It's got GPT-5 and it's got Claude, which I love Claude. Claude is amazing. And I want to tie it into Visual Studio with the API so that I can go in there in Visual Studio and literally just type in a prompt. This is the script I want. And now it won't just create one file. It can create multiple files. It can modularize them. It can create config files. It can open up multiple tabs. It can go through and edit them all simultaneously. It can use agents where it can talk to multiple AIs and like jump around asking different questions and like cleaning up the code and stuff. And you can set a budget and say, oh, I don't want to spend more than 35 cents of compute on the entire project. And it'll figure out how to ask the right questions and stuff to give you as much value for that money as it can. Really cool shit. Have you seen the big problem with curl maintainer has with fake AI bug reports? See the big problem the curl maintainer has with fake AI bug reports? Look it up. No, I haven't seen that. Oh, are people? Oh, you're talking about the curl tool for like pulling data from a website, right? So you're saying that people are filing fake reports against it using AI tools that look for bugs in it? And are they not legitimate bugs? Is it just like spamming non-legitimate bugs? People are just like, they don't know what they're talking about? Claude is dope. Hey, Tech Brew Boss, why don't you have 4.7 Sonnet? I saw that you had Claude 4.5, but you don't have 4.7. What's the dealio, bro? 4.7 is like God tier. Have I used NAN? I have not. Use that AI with an API? I haven't used any. I've heard of it. What is NAN? N8N. Open source workflow automation platform. Oh, it's literally N8N.io. Flexible AI workflow automation for technical teams. Oh, okay. So you plug this into an AI and it creates like flow charts for like projects and stuff, right? This actually does look pretty cool. Is it free? Build multi-step agents calling custom tools. Oh, this looks like it's designed for like an entire like ecosystem, like soup to nuts, everything. Using AI. Right. Oh, go ahead. Writes JavaScript and Python, adds libraries, pastes curl requests in your workflow, merges workflows from branches, doesn't just split them. This is like an entire like management system for a company. That's cool. Oh, you do have 3.7 Sonnet. I don't know why I didn't see it. Tech Brew Boss is like, N8N is overpriced trash. Well, the fact that you said that it costs anything, I'm already like, nah, I'm not ready to spend my money on it that I don't have. But luckily I got free 99 AI now thanks to Tech Brew Boss there. Tech Brew Boss is my AI sugar daddy. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna cancel my Grok and go down to a tier 1 sub on X because I can't justify Elon cranking up the price to $40 a month for Grok. However, I will say Grok does have some features that I do really, really like, especially for like coding and video, because they have like no censorship whatsoever, which I mean, Elon's gonna get his ass suit off. Like you can literally go in there and just say, hey, create a video of like, Trump, getting shot 20 times and fall over, and it'll just do it. So that's gonna come back and bite him at some point. No, they're flooding curl with hallucinated bugs to try and get bounty money. It's like 10-1. Oh shit. Okay. I see. So they just have they just basically have an AI looking for any possible bug, and it's just and they're not putting any constraints on it to like try to find serious bugs. They're just file as many, even if it's like a 1 in a trillion chance that this could actually cause a problem. Just go ahead and file it and see if you get a bounty. See, and that's going to suck because if they're doing it to curl, they're going to do it to every bug bounty program. Every single bug bounty program now is going to have somebody running some fucking cheap ass bug reporting tool, especially if they're using some kind of bug reporting tool that's API based. But then again, it doesn't have to be API based because you can just use Selenium to fill out the forms and add the files and everything. See, that's what sucks, man. I can't think of anything AI really can't do. I'm not saying good, but I can't think of any. I mean, I can create AI right now that can go to a website and completely automate it. I could create an X account with no AI where it's like posting and responding to people's comments and adding attachments and following and unfollowing and blocking and acting like a real human account without using any API, not using a single line of code talking to the back end of X, just 100% controlling it through a stealth background clone instance that's rendering the background. Hell, you don't even have to. Selenium, I haven't tried it yet, but there's an alternative to Selenium that doesn't even use a browser. It does all of the JavaScript and HTML5 rendering like in code. And so you don't have to actually open a browser and like attach to it and remotely automate it. But yeah, you can fucking do anything. You can get Grok on your API? Just give me a bit to wire it up. Oh, dude, yeah. If you guys get Grok, that'd be awesome. Because I'm gonna ditch Grok directly. I don't want to pay for it anymore. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it all right. Well, you guys are here as my witness because I don't want to keep procrastinating and putting this off because I'm going broke. So I gotta save some money. My wife and I are actually gonna go through all of our finances next week and try to kill as many subscription services as we possibly can. What I'm gonna do is go to where is it? Premium. There we go. It says okay, manage. I am now a Premium Plus. I'm going to go in here, get $40 a month. Screw that. Switch tier. I'm now going to go down to the $7 a month. Wait, they have a basic tier? $267. Smaller reply boost, bookmark folders, highlight tabs, edit. And then the $7 a month is get access to X Pro Analytics, Media Studio, Creator subscriptions. Oh, I need that one because I do have some subscriptions and I don't want to lose those. So let me downgrade to the $7 a month. Okay, your current plan will stay active until October 26th. Okay, that's good. So that gives me a couple days to bang on it and try to take as much value as I can out of it. All right, there we go. I'm going from $40 a month to $84 a year, which that's $84. Yeah, it'd be about $7 a month. Okay, cool. Confirm plan change. Done. Wonderful. There we go. I did it. I did it, guys. As you're my witnesses, saved 30 plus bucks, $33 a month. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay. Dating sites must be filled with AI now for days. Oh, 100%. So is Fiverr. If you go to Fiverr now and you order music or you order graphics for your website or you order pretty much anything on there, the odds of you getting an AI doing it is really high. And the reason being is because the AIs get ranked really high because what they'll do is they'll sling garbage. And then if somebody doesn't like the work, they immediately refund them and apologize because they don't care, right? There's no money or investment of time. Whereas a real person, if you create something that's good and you give it to the person's like, this is shit, they're going to be like, fuck you. And they're going to contest it because they put their blood, sweat, and tears into making that shit. And they want to be compensated for it. Whereas the AI is doing so many and turning them over so fast, it doesn't care if it has to refund somebody. So because of that, they all get ranked 5 stars, even if they pump out garbage, even if they piss off 9 out of 10 people. It doesn't matter because they just instantly refund them and apologize. They don't lose any money. They get to keep the work that it created for them, even if they didn't like it. And at the end of the day, they still got what they wanted. And again, that's where another instance of AI out-computing humans. And the thing that really bothers me is that AI can write the things that do this. You don't have to go out and be friends with somebody who wrote magical code infrastructure that goes to the website and pretends to be human and replies to everybody and automates the whole thing through the front end because there's no API. None of that. You just go to the AI and you're like, I want to write code that does this with this website. Go through a couple iterations, get it working. Now you use the AI to create the code that emulates the person through the specific service, and it all then you have the AI write the code that creates the works and attaches them and sends them, and then you have the AI merge it all together into one package that just runs and does its thing, and you just let your computer run overnight, and it's just fucking cranking out Fiverr work. You know, everybody that I want a song for my YouTube live stream or for a birthday or whatever, and it's like, okay, $5, and then 5 minutes later, it's in their mailbox. Here's your song. I just created custom for you, and they're like, oh wow, that was fast. Wow, this sounds amazing. Keep your $5. You know, and because a lot of people don't know like what Suno can do. Mm-hmm. And then the thing is, a lot of them will buy a Suno account because it's just easier to just buy a Suno account. But you don't have to buy a Suno account. You can also create automation that just creates a new Gmail account, goes to Suno, creates the 10 free songs a day, create another account, and then pretty soon you have 300 accounts. But your automation uses threads that log into all the different accounts, and when one gets to 10 requests a day, it fails over to the next. Fails over next. You have infinite number of songs for free. So, and again, it's you can even have AI write the web page that goes out and logs into all the accounts on Suno and normalizes it all into one. Don't ask me how I know this. Normalizes it all into one UI, where you have one UI with all your songs and everything. And it looks like you've got one Suno account, but it's really like 500 Suno accounts in the background. I'm just saying, AI can do all that stuff. That's where it gets crazy. Oh, Don Kellogg, thank you.
Hey, right on.
By the way, did you notice the events are finally working now after restarting the stream earlier? Pele's in there with 2120 and Don T. Kellogg 1999. Thank you guys. We appreciate you so much. But that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people don't know what AI's capabilities are, so it actually does give you a unique hustle to people right now. Because like your aunts and your uncles and stuff, they kind of know about AI being talked about on TV, but they don't know just how powerful it is, right? Mm-hmm. So that group of people is still the majority. So if you want to go and create something that generates these mind-blowing works that your aunt or your uncle or an average person is never going to know wasn't created by somebody in a program using effort, you can make a lot of money off that. And people are. You go to Facebook now and it's like there's tons of advertisements for people. It's like, I'll create custom birthday songs for you for $100. I'll create a custom birthday song for you that's 2 minutes long and it'll have great lyrics and I'll write the lyrics and perform them for you and whatever. And people fucking buy that shit up, and the reviews are like, oh, I love it. The song was amazing. Oh my God, this is hilarious. I wish I had found this guy sooner. This is the best present ever. And you're like, this is a fucking AI. It's like it's some guy in fucking Nigeria who had the thing write the code from soup to nuts, went and pulled an ad on Facebook and is making bank. Lying to people. And they think they're getting shit written by humans. And even the pictures of the humans are AI generated. And now you can do a thing with Gemini, Nano Banana, where you can have it recreate the same people every time in different scenarios. So you can like create a conversation, upload the images of the people, put the heads on the bodies, and then every other prompt you say, this is the scenario these people are in, sitting in front of a pond with their arms around them, blah, blah, blah. But it'll always be the same people, and then that lends credibility to it, because people that know AI, they're like, oh, AI creates different people every time, so it'd be really hard for them to create characters. So if every one of the characters always looks the same, but with different clothes on, different situations, different scenarios, it's more believable. You know what I mean? It's, God, dude. We're fucked, man. We're fucked. We are F-U-C-K-E-D, brother.
Nah. It'll work out.
Well, let's talk about batteries, because batteries are clearly going to power the robots that are going to replace us, right? Like, once all the music writers replace us, then we're going to be like, we can't even dig ditches anymore because some fucking teamy robot is going to come over and fucking do it. Kyle K said, if you're canceling subscriptions, does that include entertainment stuff? Yes, it does, Kyle. I'm not all entertainment stuff, because thankfully I found out that T-Mobile, I didn't even know they did this until I went to try to cancel it. T-Mobile gives us free Netflix and Apple TV, so we don't even pay for it.
Nice.
I was like, so it just comes with our cell service. So that's like an extra like $20-some in goodies that we just get for free. But yeah, any service that I'm paying for that's just for entertainment only, I'm going to cancel the vast majority of. I have to. I really need to make sure I can weather the storm. Looks like Danger Cow's getting teabagged. He is. He absolutely is. Oh my God. Pro DVD said, FYI, you're missing two episodes from YouTube Music. Oh shit. Did I wait? I was sure I did that. Did I not do that? Hold on. I am positive that I did that. Did I not? Oh, I'm a dirty dog if I didn't. Let me go to live. Let me see if I can get them added here. Okay, so edit the Korean government one. Let me see. I didn't do it. Oh, I'm a dirty dog. Yeah. No. All right, so let me add that one. You said one more before that? I swear I did these. I swear I did them. I thought I did. Oh, I was positive I did it. Okay, let me do the other one here. The other one was the internet will be more dead than something. Let me see that. No, I did that one. That one is added. I think the only one that isn't added is... Nope, that one's added too. I think according to this, I only missed one so far. The internet will be more dead. Here, let me try the U.S. buying AI companies. Nope, that one's in the playlists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think it was just the one. Sweet. But thank you for letting me know, Pro DVD. If you didn't let me know every week, I'd always forget these damn things. Seriously, dude. Seriously. Oh, Tech Brew Boss said enjoy the chat app, Ox. Yeah, you got to try that out.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah, and if you have any bugs or whatever, you can follow him on Discord and tell him he'd really enjoy that. He'd really like that because that helps him out a lot, gives him some value. Yeah, let's talk about the battery stuff.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting. Yeah, sodium batteries, solid state sodium batteries, I guess.
I've been hearing about these.
Researchers have discovered this was just published yesterday on Science Daily. Researchers discovered how to stabilize a high-performance sodium compound, giving sodium-based solid-state batteries the power and stability they've long lacked. The new material conducts ions far more efficiently and supports thicker, energy-dense cathodes. Because it relies on a proven technique, it's also easier to scale up for real-world use. This could bring safer, cheaper, greener batteries much closer to reality.
And plus, you have an infinite supply of sodium from the ocean, right? Pretty much. So,
I mean, this is like pure elemental sodium, not.
Oh, it's metallic sodium.
Not salt. Yeah, not salt. That's a little different.
Well, metallic sodium can be created pretty easily, though. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where these guys create reactors and they make it out of seashells. In chat, let me know if I'm smoking crack here. I could have swore I saw a video where they were taking seashells or some white powdery substance and they were creating this reactor where they were like putting acid in it and heating it up like really, really hot. And it was actually like spitting out sodium metal. And then they were like making it into these little balls and throwing them in a creek and they were exploding like hand grenades. Oh, Don T. Kellogg, thank you the $5, dude. Woo! He said, I've been using Warp Dev. I did play around with Warp Dev a long time ago, but I stopped using it because I didn't have an API backend. But now I have an API backend. I should give it a try. An AI terminal, IDE, and LLM. It's insane things you can do with it. Yeah, Warp, is that the one where you can open up command prompts? Like you can actually create scripts for PowerShell and run them like in prompt. Like you can just use human language to. I wanna change the time of the system, and it'll go create a PowerShell script, execute it, come back, and tell you if it's successful or not. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I think it was called Warp Dev. I used it, and then it said, "Oh, you've exceeded your free features. You got to pay if you want to keep using it." But if I remember right, you can put in your own AIs, so I could technically use LM Studio as the back end if I remember right. Shit. Let me download it. I want to make sure I don't forget and try this again. Yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking.
Ah, nice.
This thing's badass. Okay, yeah. Let me save this. Yeah. So think of a command shell. Think of a command shell in Windows where you just use plain text. You can go back and forth between actual prompt or plain text to describe what you want to do. And then it figures out the command. So you can say, hey, I want to know my, show me my IP address. And it'll actually run IP. It'll create the command IP config, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll parse out your IP address from that data and then return the result and show it to you. So it's almost like you get to just talk to your computer in English and it does everything. You can even do I think you can even do, more complex stuff, even like GUI stuff. Like you can say, hey, I want you to turn my volume down, or I want you to turn my microphone up to 80, and it'll literally run the PowerShell script that pulls the WMI object and does all the thing. What is my favorite game? GTA 5. Well, actually, I changed that a while ago. Gran Turismo 7 is my favorite game that I probably play the most of in simulation and VR specifically. And GTA 5 would be my second, and third would be Cyberpunk 2077. Although I will say Cyberpunk 2077 is climbing like a motherfucker on my list. I love it. It is so good. I can't lie. When I first started playing it, when the game first came out, it was so unstable I couldn't stand it, and I swore I'd never play it again. I was pissed off at CD Projekt Red and wanted to punch them in their face. But I have to say that they've fixed the problems. I've only had one crash in 43 hours of play. I've only had one crash on PlayStation 5, and it's been amazing. I've absolutely enjoyed every moment of it. It's cool. A little bit of a slow burn in the beginning. It's one of those games where it's they put you through the paces to learn all the complexities, because there is a lot of complexity to it. It's like the way that you do your, you do your hacks, in a combat, you slow down time, do your hacks, and then you got to figure out how to outfit your guy with the right equipment and the right modules to do the hacks and everything. There's a lot going on, especially when you're playing with a controller. There is a lot going on, but my gosh, once you learn it, it is just so great. So great. I'm seriously worried that GTA 6 is not going to live up to the hype. I really hope I don't
think it will. I don't think it will.
Oh, you're getting that same feeling? You feel it's not going to live up?
Yeah, I mean it's similar to as an example, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is coming out here in a couple weeks or something. Yep. It's been 15 years since the first one came out, and it's been through all kinds of just development hell. I think it's changed developers twice, and they had to, I don't know. And just don't think it's going to go. It's not going to be as good as people are hoping. And I think similarly for GTA 6, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's going to sell well. I think people are going to gobble it up, whatever they price it at. But I definitely get the vibe that it's not really going to hit the way that 5 has. I bet there's going to be a lot of comparison. Oh, it's just a lot of more of the same.
I feel like Rockstar's delaying it on purpose because they know it wouldn't live up to the hype, and they're trying to like add more. Because they were supposed to release this thing like years ago. Let's be honest, the code was probably there, but they saw the quality of shit that was coming out, like with Cyberpunk and stuff like that. They're like, whoa, we got to come more next level. Like people aren't gonna like this unless we really do it. But then what happens is you end up spending so much goddamn money on the game that there's no way it could ever live up to the hype.
Yeah.
And what I'm worried about is when they launch this thing, is it going to be $100 game for like the base version? I feel like they're going to do
probably
that. Just because of how, I mean, this is literally $500 million or whatever they've spent. No, more than, isn't it over $1 billion or something? It's something fucking ridiculous.
I mean, there's no way of knowing for sure.
I'm pretty sure that there was a leaked estimate on how, like, based on the time and how much development they've done, the size of the team. Let's see here. Approximately how much has GTA 6 cost to make so far? Let's see if it can pull some approximations. GTA 6 is reportedly because I saw this too, reportedly cost over $1 billion to develop, making it the most expensive video game ever produced. Some estimates suggest that it could even be approaching $2 billion at this point.
No way.
The staggering figure reflects Rockstar's fucking dude. Look how long it's been in development.
I know.
There's $500 million movies that you know have taken less time to make, right?
Yeah.
Here's the breakdown of what contributes to the massive budget. Extended developer timelines. GTA 6 began development around 2020 with a projected release of 2025 or later, spanning over 5 years of active production. I call bullshit on that. I think production started earlier than that.
Yeah.
Advanced technology. Rockstar is pushing boundaries of cutting-edge graphics, AI-driven NPC behavior. Wait, is that going to be a thing?
What?
It said AI-driven NPC behavior. That's something I would really like to see.
Oh.
Did you see the mod for a Skyrim that does that?
Yeah.
That is
a bunch of different mods.
Yeah.
All kinds of cool stuff where they've attached like LLMs and then voice, text to voice sort of things. Yeah.
So there's a guy I watch on YouTube. I can't remember his name. It's an obscure channel, but he does a series where he takes a person from one game and he takes them into another game. And then like he creates like a character that looks like him approximately. He takes them into the other game, but then he plugs the AI model into the world so all the NPC characters get their own conversation threads. I think he's using OpenAI API. And so he walks through the world and he's like, and he literally has it rigged up to the microphone so he talks to it. There's no typing. It's like, it's a voice exchange. And so he'll be like, hey, so-and-so, I brought you from Fallout into Skyrim. What do you think about this? And he'll be like, oh, wow, I don't know where I am. This is everything in this room looks old. And he's vision enabled. Like and even where the NPC is looking, that gets sent to the AI too, so that it can see where it's looking. And so you'll be walking around and the character will be like, wow, what was that thing? Like a creature will walk by. What was that thing? I've never seen that before in the Fallout universe. And he'll be like, hey, just calm down. But it's so funny because he walks, it's like these are hour-long streams of this guy like walking around with AI characters introducing them to each other. And they actually will start talking and form relationships. And sometimes your dude will like run off with one of the NPCs because they'll have like some complex like, hey, you want to help me go kill these guys over here? Sure, I'll do it. They go over and start killing the guys. I was like, holy shit, this is rad. Yeah. I haven't found the plugin myself, but I want to try it because I thought it was so cool that he like stole something from like a bartender. And the bartender, he put a bucket on his head and he's like, wow, I'm blind. I can't see. What are you doing? And he takes the thing and he runs out of the bar. And then he comes back later and the guy goes, hey, I noticed something missing out of my inventory. You didn't steal that, did you? And he's like, yeah, I actually did. And he's like, sir, you stole from me. He said, no, I'll give it back. And he's like, okay, you better. And then he comes over and pulls out his sword and he's like sitting there going like this. And the guy sets the thing, transfers it in his inventory. And he goes, okay, that's better. He's like, don't ever steal from me again. And he remembered every time he came back to this place throughout the game, cool. The guy was like, he remembered everything that happened. And that was a part of the dialogue. Dude, if they did that in GTA 6, I would be like, holy shit. And plus on like PS5, you have a microphone right in the controller. Right? So like making microphone enabled shit is like, really, really easy to do. Let's see. What is it? Dude, they're going to have actual living AIs in the game. That would be badass, dude. That'd be badass. Imagine if you could just fire up GTA 6 and everybody has a passage of time. So it's like you don't play for 3 weeks and you come back and you start going around. It's like, yo, dude, where were you? That mission was supposed to be done 5 days ago. We're gonna kill you.
I wouldn't want it to be real time stuff like that. That would be not cool.
I think
there's certain context for that where that would be rad, but I think for like a single player that wouldn't do well.
Fair enough. I just think it would be really, really cool to interact with a bunch of AI characters that remember, maybe not time, but they remember like all their interactions and the shit that they do while you're gone. Because the thing with Skyrim is all the characters are doing stuff even when you're not there. The whole world is being rendered. That's what makes Skyrim like so amazing. Or all the Elder Scroll games, right?
Yeah.
The later ones is when you walk. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, they did really cool with the Radiant, the Radiant AI thing that they did for Skyrim.
Yeah,
and Oblivion.
So if you replace Radiant AI or augment it with AI, the cool thing is like when you're on the other side of the map, all the characters in the villages, they're buying shit from each other, exchanging things in inventory, exchanging money. They're doing chores, they're collecting things and going back and selling them to the merchants. All this shit is happening in reality in the game, even though you don't see it and it's not being rendered. So when you tie AI into that, and there's all these conversations in the background going on, which I have to imagine the AI costs would stack up pretty quick with this thing. But it's like you have all these conversations with all these NPCs, no matter how simple the NPCs are, and you come back and they're still there, and they still remember the shit, and you form relationships with them, and they remember that shit long term. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And I don't think it would be that complex, actually, because the context window is so small. Right? You don't need the model to be trained on everything on the internet. It only has to be within the context of the game. So
true.
It could be very small, honestly. Like there's no reason why you couldn't like improve on the Radiant AI part of like Skyrim, because again, the world is so small and there's only so many NPCs to keep track of, and they basically have already built it out to where like, all the NPCs have like their own little personalities and like they have their daily routines and things like that. So really all you'd have to do is keep track of the changes, right? It'd be a sort of more of a memory issue, I guess.
I mean, they already work kind of like a first and last out queue. So it would be like they just lose their memory over time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of interactions with the character, then they just maybe forget shit you did.
Wait, who are you again?
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot you did that. Yeah, and you could also keep it within the window of just again, like I feel like real time would suck. Like, I came back 2 weeks later in Skyrim, and then like, half of the people don't remember me or whatever. Yeah. But with maybe you go off and you spent 4 days in a cave, clearing out a dungeon or something, and then you come back and they're like, oh my gosh, we thought you had died.
Ooh, I have an idea. I have an idea. What if you just use the local AI instead of a cloud AI? And you just have a really tight trained AI that just knows the English language and everything about the lore of all the Skyrim games. Like take all the lore of the Skyrim games, all the dialogue, all the storylines, the characters, their background stories, everything. Train that into one smaller local LLM along with just being good at English language and writing. Mm-hmm. Combine those things together. You could even do it as like a lore for Skyrim. And then all the conversations would be local context, run on your own computer, and it would just take up some RAM. And honestly, you probably still need to use the GPU to have that fast, snappy response back and forth. Yeah. So that you could have dialogue so it didn't take forever. But if it was a really compact AI, I've had local AIs that I get like 250 tokens a second, where it's like, you're just done. Because it's just a small, compact, like couple of gigabyte thing, right? And memory, a lot of people have, 32, 64 gigs of RAM. So, you could have this as a feature where you could switch it on or off. Like if you got a computer with 96 gigs of RAM, fucking allocate 48 gigs to memory for the characters, I think that'd be awesome. I hope they do something like that with GTA, because I think that would be groundbreaking to have that implemented by the creator of the game and optimized for the game instead of being added as a plugin after fact. Mm-hmm. I just hope that they still make it as moddable too. My fear is that Rockstar, because they bought out that third-party company that was like doing servers for GTA 5 and stuff. I can't remember. Started with an M or something. I don't know. It was really popular, but they bought it. Like Rockstar literally bought them out because they didn't want like a third party maintaining, servers and stuff for the game and doing all kinds of third party mods. And I hope that they're not going to like try to make GTA 6 like less moddable, because I think that's what made GTA 5 so amazing. Like I can go back and play GTA 5 today with like a handful of mods enabled in campaign mode, and it still looks like the best graphics you've ever seen today.
Right.
And I love that. I think that's great that a game. How old is GTA 5 now? What did it come out, like 20?
15 years ago or something?
Yeah, it's been
old
out
as fuck.
forever, dude. Like, shit. Let's see. How old is GTA 5? So 12 years. 12 years.
Okay.
September 17, 2013 was when it came into life. So 12 years this thing's been out. And I have seen people install mods on that thing that still make it look even better than Cyberpunk. Which just blows my mind. I don't even know how the hell that's possible. But I hope GTA 6 has something similar going. When is GTA 6 coming out? Because I always see a thing. It's like out next year. Out next year. It's been out next year for like the last 3 years. When is GTA 6?
Says May 26th, 2026.
God damn it. So they're not even going to have it out for the holiday season, man. And they'll probably delay it again. I don't know if I've seen the trailer or not, but I'd imagine that because this trailer was so early, the game's got to look a lot different now.
Yeah.
Aren't the new characters in this game supposed to be like a gal and her boyfriend or something like that? Like, I want to say the trailer was like something like that. Like some lady, she gets out of prison and like her and her boyfriend go on a crime spree or something. I don't know, man. My brain is like fucking shot.
Well, I don't know. I think I've seen like one little it was more of like a cinematic trailer, I think, not the it's like more of an announcement sort of trailer. Yeah, that's all.
Oh man. All right, dude. It's 2 minutes early. I think I'm gonna call it if you're good with that.
Yeah, I'm good.
My back is just killing me. I got a migraine like a motherfucker.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I've been feeling so bad lately. You know what I love though is when I get on here with you, you do really help distract me and keep me in the groove.
Man.
So even though I'm like feeling like shit, I can forget about it for a little while, and it's quite nice.
Good.
So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate all the support. Sorry I haven't been on Twitch yet, guys. However, had I streamed late on Twitch, I would have got fucked anyways because my internet keeps dying at like 1 a.m. But I'll hopefully see you guys this week on Twitch. I gotta.
Yeah.
And the medication doctor was supposed to give me didn't work out, so I just gotta fucking raw dog it and get her done.
That's right.
So I'll see you guys over there, and we're gonna probably be playing with some AI. We're
cool.
like live, actually live with the demos on screen. You guys will actually be able to see shit for once. All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Touch grass every once in a while. Don't let the world piss you off too bad like it does me every day. And yeah, do as I say, not as I do, right?
That's right.
All right, peace out, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
See you next week.